Alright, here we are doing some Minecraft 1.21.4, a version I've never played. I figured new year, might as well kick things off with the newest as Minecraft, really it's the newest stable version of Minecraft. I have added some mods to it, but I've kept them mostly to stuff that's just like small quality of life features. Like Jade apparently isn't available for this version, but I was able to find a similar mod. It's got journey map because otherwise I'm probably gonna get lost at some point. And especially if I go into a cave. I also had to get a different kind of mod for keeping my inventory after death. Without just using the keep inventory feature, of course. I think I can up my render distance a little bit. You know, get rid. Well, I think some of that pop-in might have just been because it's still generating the spawn area of this world. Oh, looks like this version of Journey Map is using a different kind of markers. Whereas it's actually telling me specifically. I think maybe this might be an option on the version of Journey Map I'm used to, but when it's just defaulted to being enabled. Hell, like maybe they figured out that, oh, this is a popular feature. Okay, I need to punch a tree real quick, like, just to get the tutorial all to go away. Maybe advanced options? Nope. I wanted to switch it over to the way I'm used to seeing the mob indicators on the mini-map, but hey, good to know there's at least sheep immediately nearby. I need to make it nice and easy. Need to get a bed. Which admittedly, one mod that I really rather like have on this version apparently just isn't isn't available at this time. Is comforts. So I'm gonna have to rely on just regular beds for the time being. But at least for once I was able to actually craft one quickly rather than having to spend multiple days. He's looking for sheep. Imports. I've got all my basic starter gear, other than I guess a shovel, which half the time I don't even bother with shovels because like pickaxes do the job. Well, I'll usually use a shovel if I'm collecting large amounts of like dirt or sand, particularly sand because that has a lot more uses. But yeah, when you're mining, you only you'll need to switch over to pickaxe fairly soon anyway. Which another reason why I'm kind of keeping it a little light on the mods right now. In addition into their millage just not being that much available for this version at this time, is so that easier to just consistently keep using this world. Even across multiple versions. And it's because admittedly, like, since I only do Minecraft one stream a month most of the time, I never really get very far in these worlds because I keep making new ones. So I think it would be nice to actually stick with one specific world. Also, I'm thinking is that I'm going to keep using this world for Mineday in all months except for October and maybe in November. Or because once we get to October, we're naturally gonna do more stuff with the horror pack. Okay, and in November we might as well I'll go back. I could to the, I believe it's 1.18 world I've got. Now, since this is where I've started mining, what if we just built my base attached to this? This just gotta... Because I'm thinking stone walls. Walls with maybe some dark oak accent. Well, spruce, actually. And looking like it's gonna take quite a bit of stone. I don't know if I'm going that route. Which I mean, usually I go more for wood with stone accent, and so... And, you know, might as well change things up every once in a while. But basically, like... If I continue doing sort of themed mod packs like I was... That was last year. I'm probably gonna aim more towards having it be themed additions to this mod pack. Although, you know, like I said, at the very least, should try not to go too heavy on the mods. Because the more mods you have, the harder it is to be able to just update to a new version. Well, you know, if a mod's not doing anything too important, it should be reasonably possible to just abandon it if needed. We've got 7 in that way, so... Clear this bit of the terrain out. Think let me just lop off this little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or here's where I'm gonna put my crafting table. Also, that's 5. I have 6. This will be 7. And a map stone. Oh, and there goes my pickaxe, so I'll have to make another one of those. See, unfortunately, not exactly a hard thing to replace. There we go. Floor's all done. And now we can start building the walls. This is where a beam would go. Oh, so you can replace those with wood. And I'll just go ahead and get my bed in here. There to make it a bit quicker to sleep. One unfortunate thing about being on this version is that Create is not updated to this version yet. They apparently have plans to update, but it is just taking a little while. There we go, we've got all of that done. And so just gotta make some doors. And finish the last wall. Well, actually, this is 1 block shorter than it needs to be. Yeah, I'm gonna need one more spruce log and I'll get a lot more stone. But you know, should be done soon enough. Not seeing any signs of any caves back here, so. And nothing seems to be spawning either, so. No, at least. At least I don't have to worry about anything trying to attack me from right behind my house. Oh, and this whole thing is offset wrong. So now I've got to tear it all down. Like, technically this is gonna be like 9 by 9. You know, this is 2 out of the 3 beams have to move because of the side of the building they're on. Definitely gonna. I don't have all of my spruce. At some point I need to get a new mouse or something because there's a wheel on this one and it keeps acting up. But honestly, it isn't as bad something like Minecraft as it is with pretty much any game where zoom is keyed to the mouse wheel. Or program, for that matter. And unfortunately, that covers just about everything on computers that has a zoom function. And so I have to keep looking up how to zoom by keyboard in different programs. I'm just like, oh right, my mouse wheel doesn't want to cooperate properly. Fortunately, a lot of stuff that uses a mouse wheel for zoom will also just let you use like the plus and minus as keys or something and to do the same function. It would also be nice to just not even have to worry about it. But you don't really have a budget for a new mouse right now, so I'm just gonna have to deal with the inconvenience for the time being. Oh, and have this... really have this be proper... really have this be even. I need to move the wall... one block out of the front. And alas, this is not The Sims, so I can't just click and drag it out to wherever I need it to be. Yeah, I have to completely rebuild it. And make another pickaxe. Generally, there's kind of the downside to going light on the mods, which I said there's not as much going on. Especially since I'm used to having all of these mods. It's like right now I'm basically just on vanilla. Since I don't have much of anything mods-wise. It's like, the only things I've even installed are just some quality of life and world generation mods. It's mostly just adding additional structures when it comes to ladder, and then I don't even have those enabled right now. Because I figured I should at least experience the vanilla world generation on this version, and for a little while. Door is in place. Okay, so now we just focus on the roof? You know, maybe I should try a different kind of roof than the standard either flat or gable roof that I've been doing. And let me see if I can find... some interesting roof options. Yeah, most of what I'm seeing is at best a variation on the gable, or just flat. Yeah, maybe instead of looking for just a specifically Minecraft route, you also look at regular, just like guides to different kinds of roofs. Yeah, I think part of it is just a lot of types of roof just kind of look like that. Like, other than the occasional, like, curved roof, you kind of don't really get much variety outside of flat or something akin to a gable roof. Also, I was apparently missing a block of stone here. Which I think this was probably meant to go there. I'm thinking we use... It was basically... Use some beams of spruce. But then use them to connect to... Oh, I should not have started there. Because that's right where my way up to the roof is. And if I do spruce beams... Maybe beams alternating with stairs. can you not? Alright, clearly I need to set up some torches back there. First I have to collect all of my stuff. And of course it had to be pretty much all creepers. Oh yeah, I also have my head now. Here's my goal. Because clearly I need to light things up back here. Here, since otherwise it's dark enough for things to spawn. On and cause problems. Think that's the height I need this to be at. Yep. Had to kind of eyeball it. And then I'm gonna get stone. Well, maybe I should get like a different kind of wood or a different kind of stone or something. But the only other types of wood or stone one I've got easily available to I've actually got a dark oak available here. It helps be using my axe. Next, since that has the tree chop functionality on it. You know, they're pretty close to the same color. So maybe I don't even... Maybe instead I go for spruce. It's either that or that or I could change up the color of the logs. Well, that right there kind of doesn't matter because... Like, actually... It makes the most sense to... At least with either something like that or some stone. Stone makes the most sense there. Still got some spruce, so I guess I can make at least it needs a little bit more stairs. Yeah, might as well just put stone on this end as well. You know, as much as the house itself doesn't continue back there, maybe I'll extend the roof all the way back to where it meets the hill. Also, now I've just got to get more spruce. Hopefully I don't run out of it anytime soon, because... Well, I shouldn't, because there seems to be plenty around down in this biome. Now it's just a matter of gathering enough. It's actually here. I'm alternating between stairs. stairs and beams, then here's where I need to put the next beam. That's the wrong kind of wood. Or I guess theoretically I could switch over to using dark oak for the beams, but then I have to replace the ones I've already put down. Now it looks like I'm about to lose my axe as well. I'll use these to make support for the next set of stairs. Which I've got the stone needed to make a couple more axes, so should be simple enough to replace this one. You know, maybe I'll strip the logs are forming the beams and just rely on texture variety. Need to add some differentiation. Got a dozen stairs, so that should be plenty for this next bit. Yeah. Only just barely needed that last one. And I think the last bit here in the middle will be the platforms. Fortunately, that means I don't even have to set up anything underneath it to support it. And so now I can just make one of these. Then fill in. Wait, actually. This roof is not gonna look right until I continue the pattern a little bit further. First, I'm gonna have to take off last bit of top bit of the wall, all here. Some of these on to give it some support. Or since it's all gonna be stairs. Let's make a dozen more stairs. Here's and put them all along this way. But you know, that one of the reasons why I want to change over to sticking with the same world a bit more, so that is because pretty much every, other than I think like Minerat, just about every Minecraft stream I've done has had a significant base building segment of just building my starter base. Like not like a long-term project, just a place to live to start with. I mean, granted, like I usually have just expand whatever base I built early on over time. Like I think one of the main worlds where I think like there've been a couple times when I fully moved to live somewhere other than my starter base. Those being like the very first world I ever played on because I moved away from the base I had built near spawn to live in a village. I've messed up the pattern. And I think... So let's see. Stairs, beam, stairs, beam. So this should be beam. And no, this should be stairs. Yeah, the thing where I messed up was I put these stairs in the wrong spot. I put them on the side of the wall when they need to be on top of the wall. And now the sun is setting, so I better head on in and sleep. You know, technically, when I first played Dungeons, Dragons, and Space Shuttles, I also ended up moving away from my starter base, but that's because it got destroyed. Because a blood moon happened, resulting in just like a massive swarm of creepers. And so, after I ended up turning blood moons off, I built a different base on the same landmass because, like, there was nothing but a crater left of my original base. Up inside just in case this is a thunderstorm. Or in which it's not, it's just rain. I think I'm gonna add some dirt here to just kind of give the illusion that that's still fully just part of the of the hill. Alright, so that side is done. And so we can get to work finishing this side of the roof. And then, you know, an hour into the stream, we can finally call this base complete. Apparently I'm low on disk space, so hopefully that it's not too big of an issue. But, you know, I have to... Which, you know, if I had gotten around to doing more with the backlog, I would go for my little hiatus. It is in December. That probably wouldn't be a problem. Alas, I did not really get much of anything done on that front. Partly because there's a lot of it was something to that like yeah, I managed to get some stuff edited. And I just haven't uploaded anything. Some of it probably won't get uploaded until I'm completely done with the backlog, because I'm planning to do an entire just one long upload of just Balatro, and I just ruined all of my spruce. You know, so I'm gonna have to go and get more. But you know, past this certain point, I didn't really do like full streams of Balatro. It would mostly just be filler at the end of a stream of something else. Oh, so that's why I'm thinking, you know, just combine it all together into one long video. Rather than potentially having videos that are just like a run or two or something. It's not a thunderstorm, my ass. It's not a thunderstorm. What's this guy doing here? I don't see anywhere. Like, did he spawn down here in this hole? In this tiny little hole? And if that's the case, how did he get out? It's like, I can't imagine that there's enough space under this house for stuff to spawn. Because presumably, something that's, you know, over a block in height needs more than a block of space to spawn in. But there, that's what happened. Anything that spawns under this house is stuck. Gonna have so many signs. And because every time, because until like corpse or gravestones mod gets updated to this version, every time I die I get a new sign. What if it somehow managed to spawn inside my house? Because it just happened to get dark enough up in here. Because I've got no windows and and I didn't have any torches either. I actually think what I would have to do for that right there is actually be a stone slab. Right, rain's finally stopped, so I can actually hear my music now. Well, it looks like I actually could have used it was just stone. But basically, at least visually, same effect. I'd say the the roof looks decent. Yeah, there's no point in having a window on that wall. Well, because it just goes out to dirt. Right, stairs set up. I'd say this is a decent base. These well, this right here. There we go. Now that looks good. That's what I would say. Hey, we just find some sand, which I can see off in the distance there. There's so you can make some panes for the windows. Let's go ahead and make a shovel. Oh, since I'm just getting sand and not looking for anything else. So there is gravel here. I don't know if I've really got anything to do with gravel other than get flint. And because at least at least if I had create 8, I could set up blasting for it and get extra iron out of it. But since Create isn't updated to this version yet, I don't have it. Right now we just wait for the sand to be done, and turning into glass. And then, I guess once that's done, and we've got the panes all. Yeah, well, while we wait for that, I'm gonna go get some more wool. Also, I can make a second bed. Because we might as well do at least some exploring. Kinda seeming like that might be one of the last sheep in this area. Oh, apparently go right down to the cave layers. There's right there. Right there's the last sheep. I should really probably be using getting a sword for this. So that I'm not just kind of beating this sheep with the raw flesh of another member of its own species. Right, 3 wool all collected. So maybe my first bit of exploration will just be diving into that hole. Hole that's conveniently fairly close to my house. Yeah, when I have a bed, I had to carry with me just in case I need to sleep or set my spawn on somewhere else. Now, since I'm already in here, I might as well just sleep here tonight. Make my window panes substantially more than I really needed. Because I only needed 3. But you can't just make 3. Oh, and I should probably have, my sword. Since that's the one bit of combat gear I have at this point, because I haven't gotten any iron. Yeah, this probably isn't that great of an idea before... to do this before getting any iron. Well, I think there might be some right there. Yeah, so we can just grab that. Well, it's a good thing that I saw that, because that helped me to realize I don't have my pickaxe with me. So now I can easily just go back to my house and get it. Should also eat some food. So I can have more than 2.5 hearts. especially since, and you know, there could be skeletons down there. Or, yeah, I'm decently well equipped to deal with just about anything except for skeletons. And just what I've got already. Which at least... Yep, called it. There's a skeleton right there. Here's, I better get a shield before I venture down there. I mean, at least if I have a use for clay at some point, I've got a spot where I can go to get plenty of it. You know, since I've just got quality of life mods on right now. Now there's not really anything to plan for outside of what's possible in vanilla. Like, I don't have any kind of elaborate tech mod or anything. Heck, one of the few mods I actually have installed. I'm not even seeing the recipes for, because I've got a mod that adds more furniture. But unfortunately, as far as I can tell, stuff like just enough items hasn't been updated for this version. So I have to use the vanilla recipe book. I think there's an Enderman around somewhere. I think it was on my roof. Better not have taken a chunk out of my roof. Everything looks fine. Everything seems to be fine with my roof, so... But while there was an Enderman on there, nothing seems to have happened. Okay, so there's apparently a carpenter bench that I need to craft somehow. But I'm not really seeing how. Yeah, I think it's a problem of the recipes just don't show up in the guide in the recipe book. Even though, like, there's actually a different furniture mod that I was going to use, but specifically called out, you know, find the recipes in any of these mods, and then none of the mods showed up as being available for this version. Jane Graham, maybe for whatever reason they're non-modernth yet, and I have to go through CurseForge or something to get them. But that will have to be something I do later. Okay, good. I did bring some torches. This is because it's gonna be a bit dark down there. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back, so let's get back into this for the next hour and 4 minutes. Yeah, this definitely goes quite deep. Yeah, this is gonna be real nice. These I have around just as soon as there's a create version available for this. That's because we've got clay, we've got andesite. So I don't think create uses that much clay. Like, I think more than anything, I've used create to make clay. Hey, because with create you can just use use sand and water or to make clay. I think I made clay specifically because I needed a bunch of bricks. Makes for a different mod altogether. I'm gonna have to change up my materials a little bit. Alright, where are you? There we go. Oh, got that dealt with. Listen, now I can get back to building my stairs for ease. Getting back out of this hole. And of course, well, might as well just sleep. Because, you know, you kill one skeleton, another comes in for revenge. And of course, because as I allowed night to fall, there's gonna be a bunch of stuff spawned on the surface too. You know, so I guess once I get my stuff, I'll do some cleanup. Now, place a torch right here. There's a very least there's not of spawning everywhere at the foot of these stairs. Is foot of the stairs even a term, or is it just base? Love to get to build my stairs for 5 seconds without something attacking me. But, you know, it's clearly just too much to ask for. Well, it looks like most of the hostile mobs on the surface have either burned to death or despawned altogether. Except for, like, a couple Endermen. But, you know, this is this is probably just gonna be the rest of the stream. Granted, it's 3:04, so just go down there. Well, at least from here, I can just punch full-grown zombies. These with no issue. And of course there has to be a child zombie in there. Yeah, this is really looking to be the rest of the stream. Yeah, fortunately, didn't really have anything important on me. And of course now there's gotta be pillagers. So I have to get around them too. Yeah, maybe I should take a moment to just like make a second sword. Because fortunately a lot of my crafting materials are still at home. It's just the stuff that I specifically either collected or brought with me for this little adventure. An adventure that I have to go into the caves to get back. But at least I think my stairs might actually be complete now. Because I managed to get onto them without falling onto them. So now if I can just get them to stop being occupied by zombies constantly, they will be doing great. Alright, I've got all of my stuff back. Which most of it wasn't even that important. Oh, my stairs aren't complete. I have to add another layer of material. Or I guess doing it this way is also an option. I think that's enough of delving into that cave for right now. I've just got to get back up to the surface proper. Because unfortunately I've forgotten exactly where the stairs I built to get down there are. Might as well get some rest now that I'm in a safe spot. I say I'm in a safe spot and then the music suddenly becomes more intense. Right, you can see where it looks like there's still an illager around here, so... Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, actually. They're not hanging directly outside of my house anymore, but... they are very much still there. Guess I'll just heal up and go deal with them. See, I might as well do something about them. Rather than just letting them hang around. I mean, actually, maybe I could just let them hang out there, because they seem to be stuck. Oh, I think they might have taken some fall damage on their way down here. Of course, because I also took fall damage, I died. Oh, they're still hanging around. Really, Creeper? Can you not? Like, can you not do that right here, right now? Alright, Illagers dealt with. It kinda doesn't seem like it gained. Doesn't seem like it gained the condition. And because, like, you would think that it would show up, and I don't think I turned raids off. Because, like, even in vanilla, if you have a condition, it'll show up. I might still want to get its milk just in case. Granted, I also have not encountered a village yet in this world, so no, it's not like I have to worry about causing a raid to happen anyway. But if nothing else, I might as well just try and find some iron. So I can get some armor in the bucket and that kind of thing. Dang, ultimately, like, off the top of my head, I don't know what level iron spawns at. So I'm just gonna dig down until I see some, I guess. Well, actually, I'm in a pretty hilly area, so there might be some mountains with just some exposed iron. And if I look around, like those off in the distance seem like pretty solid candidates for that. And I might as well I'll eat while I'm on the way there. There to get some hearts back. So this mountain does not appear to have any exposed ores, other than a little bit of coal. It looks like it might be partly andesite as well. So again, useful if we're still on this world by the time that I can add create in. But you know, andesite's not really... Andesite's not useful for anything that stone isn't already, other than a different texture. Since we're on basically vanilla. Oh good, I didn't like try and climb out on that side or that side and fall to my death. That's immediately upon waking up. Let's just see what's in here, because there could be iron inside. So far it doesn't seem like there is. It is, but could just be that we haven't gotten to it yet. There's apparently gravel. It seems to be taking a little while to get up to the top of this thing. I think, but we should be close. Notice now that we've hit dirt. Well, looks like there's a broken nether portal off in the distance, so that should have some good loot. Now, if I can just remember how to get down from here. because I don't see. Oh, it's because I went down from where I went up. That was my problem. And that's how I keep getting lost in caves, is because I seemingly forget how I got somewhere. They're secretly traveling through the ground almost immediately after I get into the location. Like, I could enter a cave, turn around immediately and be like, where's my entrance? Like, where did I get it in here? Which I mean, like I have an emote specifically for that. Although apparently I was gonna post it, but apparently he, for whatever reason, I can only see Twitch and Franker Faces emotes in the chat in OBS. Seems that Smash just spawn on this buried partway into a mountain. Okay, I do have a shovel with me. And like, you know, it isn't even me having like faulty eyesight, because because like I have glasses that correct my they're supposed to correct my vision up to 20/20. And I wear them at pretty much all times. My sense of direction just seems to be absolute garbage. Which I mean, does kind of explain, how I was able to get lost on a hill that I have been on many, many times. It's called, I got onto a different part of the hill. A part of the hill that was unfamiliar to me. But then, but if I had just remembered how I got to that part of the hill, I would have been able to find my way back easily. Which, I mean, granted, I was also a bit younger. Or, like, I would say that that was probably about a decade ago at this point. But, you know, I take greater precautions against getting lost in real life than I do in video games, because in video games the worst case scenario is you waste a bunch of time. If you have trouble finding somewhere. In real life, if you get lost and say, hey, lost, who knows what could happen? Then, like, sure. If you get lost long term in, like, a city or something, you are effectively just homeless. But if you get lost in the wilderness, unless you've got some good survival skills and decent luck, you are pretty much as good as dead. But, you know, like, at the very least, like at the time I didn't even have a smartphone, so it's not like I could just look up. I could just look at Google Maps and find my way back. Heck, but you know, oh yeah, I think the reason why I don't have the chest anymore is because it got blown up. But so I've got 2 iron now. Which I kind of don't want to explore too far, because those once, because like, I'm thinking I might enable some of my, like, structure generation mods for like February's, or whichever day we end up doing this again, because I arguably could stream Minecraft from time to time on like Wednesdays. I just try and keep it to like once a month because of how saturated the category is. And you know, I'd like to. It would be nice to at least to become an affiliate one day. Hey, you know, it's been 5 going on 6 years I've been doing this. And the only metric that I'm missing from being able to be an affiliate is also the most elusive. Because it's a 3 concurrent viewers thing that I need. Like, I was actually kinda aiming to have those last few streams in December be sort of of an informal affiliate push, but then internet problems happened. Which, I mean, like, a lot of the problem is just that, like, it was probably really just, like, I'm bad at promoting myself. Like, because, like, I hardly ever make clips. So I got banned off TikTok for who knows what reason. Which, I mean, you never know. Well, by the end of this month, there may... Like, legally, there may very well not be TikTok in the US anymore, so... Which, I mean, hey, you know, maybe if... Maybe if they do end up having to sell off of TikTok US as a you know, maybe we'll get actually competent customer service, which is to say any. Like, it's kind of hard to call... Like, it's kind of a misnomer to call receiving the same copy-pasted response no matter what you say service. But, you know, it's most likely an automated system, so... But, you know, like, it's not even about being banned. It's the fact that they refuse to tell me why. That really gets on my nerves. There's a village over there, so should maybe try and just in case, because like I don't seem to have the thing that causes the raids to happen, but who knows? Maybe they changed the way raids work, or can one of these versions at some point. But like, if you're gonna ban somebody off of your service, you should at least tell them why, so that the appeals process, the process of perhaps appealing that ban, isn't like being a defense attorney in court only to have to. One, ask the judge what the charges are, and two, get a response of, I don't know, you figure it out. Not to mention, like, that's just a bad way to run any kind of system of rules enforcement, because like even because like if nothing else, transparency on that point is important, so that so as to not give the impression that the punishment was arbitrary. Like like, in just about any worthwhile court of law, quite fitting music for this. In just about any court of law, if people are gonna question things, if the people who are supposed to be enforcing the laws aren't saying what the charges are. Because, we have laws written out for the sake of consistency. If no charges are ever specified, it makes it sound And, like, the reason why they're not specified is because there aren't any legitimate charges. You know, like, there's some corruption happening. And, like, I mean, you know, oh, like, I don't know why I jumped at that. It's literally just a whole, like, that is just a whole, maybe I got spooked by the heights. Or, you know, how close I potentially came to falling. I think because that was a pretty far drop. But, you know, like, I mean, part of the arrest procedure is to tell, like, I mean, you know, if you look at the police, part of the arrest procedure is to tell the person being arrested why they're being arrested. I'm fairly certain. Like, granted, I've never been arrested, but you know, because, you know, but, you know, like, if somebody's getting arrested and the cops aren't telling them why, that sounds suspicious. It's like, you know, because, you know, like, because, you know, like, when somebody knows what the charges are, then they can be confident, then they can be fairly confident on whether or they're guilty or not. Which, I mean, granted, like, hey, you know, hey, you know, ByteDance or whatever is not a government, but as far as TikTok is concerned, they practically are. Because, you know, they enforce the rules, that govern conduct on their platform. Like, in a lot of ways. These social media platforms terms of function similar to like states. You know, they have a group that sets and enforces the rules that all who are on the platform are supposed to abide by. And ultimately, the only restriction on what rules they can set for that, at least legally, is that it can't, and is that, you know, it can't, and it can't contradict rules set by a separate governing body that is above them in authority, which is to say, actual governments. And like, I mean, actual governments will often deputize the moderators of platforms to enforce laws for them, in the context of that platform. You know, look at how just about any platform handles copyright. You know, the reason why platforms like, for instance, Twitch or YouTube step in anytime up and will do stuff like, you know, flag your video or mute your VOD if you use audio you're legally not supposed to. Is because is so that the actual legal authorities don't have to get involved. If the actual holders of the copyright decide to make it a bigger issue. Like, I wrote an entire essay on this stuff in college. It was for our criminology course. So I know a fair bit about how it, from like a sociological standpoint, legal and more, in some ways more broadly, rules systems run. In fact, I'm willing to bet that, like, maybe I'm not willing to bet, but I would not be surprised if my criminology textbook actually has something in there about how, you know, punishing people without telling them why they're being punished is a bad idea. Like it probably falls under like the probably falls under the principle of, I believe, general deterrence. Like even if it's not directly a bad thing to do, according to just basic criminology, because the principle of general deterrence is that is basically about using people, about making an example out of people. If you want to put it in real simple terms. You make, you evoke the principle of general deterrence by way of doing things like making public the punishments that resulted from someone being found guilty of certain charges. And while there's not really like a place that you can go to like see records of everyone who's been banned on TikTok and why, to my knowledge. And like, honestly, I'm not even entirely sure if you can do that that with like the US legal system either. I haven't exactly gone and looked. Actually, yeah, I'm fairly confident you can. It's called looking at court records. Or at least provided that you have access to those, which you might be able to, I don't know. Last time I looked at court records, I was in a situation where I was given explicit permission to do so. That was part of a project for Acton University. So but if nothing else, if TikTok tells people why they got banned, and then those people can then mention that when talking to other people that use the platform, and so through word of mouth, people gain a greater understanding. Yeah, you can get banned for XYZ on this platform. I better not do it because I want to keep my account. But when you ban people without specifying why, you just leave those same people feeling like they were punished by just bad luck. Some automated system somewhere decided to screw you over. Which, I mean, really, like, that... Like, it's especially bad because it's an automated system. Because at least... Because, like, with an automated system, the reason you get banned could be because if you're banned by an automated system, the reason could be the computer had an error. Because like the way that the specific because the specific circumstances did not line up with the way that the system expected it to. Because like one digit on a code got corrupted or something. Speaking of errors, I just got an error on my computer. But the big mystery here is that it's not Minecraft that's giving the error. Something called MS Edge WebView 2.exe. Now, why would a web view for Microsoft Edge be open? Well, I was able to cancel it and go back to Minecraft. And of course, because I'm capturing just Minecraft and not like my entire display, hey, that wasn't even visible on stream. But chances are, y'all heard the little ping. But you know, as I was saying, like, somebody could have been updating something and mistyped somewhere. After all, there was a huge, basically, I guess, like, you could call it an information leak. Leak of sorts with Arena a bit ago. Because somewhere in an update, somebody put a flag into the code for verifying brawl decks that made it to where if a brawl deck had a negative deck weight rating, it would not only throw an error if you tried to play that deck, even if the deck was perfectly legal, but it would also show the deck weighting. And so people were able to capitalize on that to reverse engineer just about the entire deck weight list for every single card in the Brawl format. And as far as anything, wonder why my head's doing that. But as far as I know, that was all human error. Because, code can be very finicky. One misplaced symbol and the whole thing can break. Depending on on what that symbol is and where it is. And unlike unlike a human being, a computer just executes, being a machine, just executes whatever code it's given, even without hesitation, unless it has some other part of its code, essentially. He tells it to tells it to, like, for example, prompt the user for confirmation. And then that's only because you're working with an operating system that is built to be decently convenient, and thus is set up to where it will, if the user tries to tell their computer to do something that could, say, damage it, it asks for confirmation, and so that you can't just like delete system 32 by accident, and then Windows is like, oop, well, it's gone. You would have to tell your computer to delete system 32 and then click OK. If it even lets you try. Because I think it wouldn't surprise me if some modern versions of Windows probably don't even let you try. Unless you have special permissions. Permissions enabled. Like, probably at least administrator status. Is just as a result of where the folder is. But how something's being, it's a human being. They're not going to just look based on some hard and fast rule. They're going to consider the specifics of the case in question, and make a judgment based on the overall evidence. At least, if they're being reasonable. Well, because, if a human's being arbitrary, in a lot of ways, the human is being full and truly arbitrary or tyrannical, that's worse than a computer messing up. Because that's somebody, for one thing, making a conscious choice. That is a lot of the time. But, you know, even when humans do rule things in a bad way, at least you can just talk to them. You can talk to the person and get it sorted out. You know, to a machine you can't. Like even with all the like chatbot stuff, especially if he, you know, if all you're gonna get is the same preset response every single time. Like, man, like, honestly, it's a good thing that the AI's attempts to automate the legal system have, to my knowledge, thus far been focused on the defense. Because at least then, if it fucks up, oh well, that's just equivalent to having a bad lawyer. Or on your side. But imagine if you walked in, if you were taken into a court of law and it's like, all rise for the Honorable Judge ChatGPT. After all, they do say that that ChatGPT has the ability to pass the bar exam. But you know, like I mean, and you know, this is a point that I made in the essay, like, yeah, with the sheer number of uploads, there's not really an option to not use an automated system, but can you at least make the automated system competent? You know, this is all to say that, you know, TikTok should really just tell me why I got banned. After all, the US government is willing to tell TikTok why they're trying to ban it. The reasons are BS. This especially, even when you consider the reasons that provided are BS and isn't often vaguely racist, but they're at least, he's giving an explanation. You know, they could do like TikTok does and just be like, yeah, we're gonna ban TikTok. Why? I don't know. We just felt like it. We don't have to tell you shit about our reasoning. Like, honestly, we just felt like it would be a more satisfying answer at this point. Because then, at least, I would have definitive proof that they're not worth my fucking time. Anyways, it's 4:15 in the morning, so that's where I'm gonna end tonight's stream. Thank you to everyone who stopped by tonight. Next stream is planned for... Next stream in general is planned and for tomorrow with The Sims 3 Random Legacy. Next Minecraft stream could be later this month if I feel like it. And especially if the numbers on tonight's stream look good. Otherwise, it'll be in February. Like, more specifically planned for... or February the 3rd. So, in the meantime, here are all of my various links. And let's see if I can find somebody good to raid. Which, I mean, you know, I usually raid somebody in the same category, and the sheer number of people, you know, with as big of a category as Minecraft, should be quite easy. You need to find somebody. Well, here's somebody that is at least supposedly similar or smaller size, but could just be that he started their stream 12 minutes ago.